features of the strategy with relation to livelihoods, just especially to have country teams thinking about the commitment that the region has taken on adaptation and risk reduction around increasing resilience of communities in livelihood work. I think there's something that Chris pointed out is that we will stop or change doing programs that do not explicitly analyze or respond to risk, and this is something that is stated in the AIM-1. And to respond to this in the region, we're doing several things. First of all, the implementation and the work at regional level around the strategy is no longer done within the traditional division around departments, but has been agreed to conform a task team at regional level between Isabel from the humanitarian team, Antonio Hill from the communication and campaign, and myself from the livelihoods, that will try to bring together the different areas of the work to have an aligned and unique strategy and work plan. And the work plan will be done 6 months by 6 months, and so around that we will try to work with all countries. Of course, one of the important challenges that we have is, I think, how can we look at transformational and not incremental changes in our project, and in the communities and the approaches we try to push on adaptation. So really try to invest, to innovate, and produce a change that it's sustainable. How did we get from a livelihood perspective to start integrating adaptation and analytical capacity? Last year in Guatemala, exactly 1 year ago, when we had the second conference of the Sustainable Livelihood Learning Network, we had on the last day a discussion on what we could have done during this year, and following the type of traditional cycle, almost traditional now, of the learning network. We started with the research. We started interacting first with SIA at more regional level. We started then to build with countries different pilots on research that we're gonna see now, and we hope that in the next 3 days we will be able to start building with the countries what can be the follow-up plan on that. How can we really build on this first analytical type of experience, and on the privilege of having several colleagues that are coming to the learning network more from a disaster risk reduction perspective. Just to close, the 3 main points on which the region has commitments, specific commitments as internal outcomes in adaptation and risk reduction in livelihood, is that increasingly from this year until 2013 to have all livelihood projects in the region with a strong component on risk assessment that should be a combination of participatory and scientific methods. 2, specific and appropriate adaptation and risk reduction measures. Of course, we will have to define together what do we find to be specific and appropriate, but I think we should raise the bar of on the type of measures we can implement in projects to really be transformative. And 3rd, the analytical capacity to demonstrate what are the impacts of climate change and on disaster risk reduction on women and small-scale agriculture, meaning linking very clearly what we do with the advocacy dimension, both related to policy and to climate finance.